Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am your football host, Brandon. I can't even count on the Washington team with no name to have a scandal come out on time. Perna. Talk about an organization that has mastered losing on every single level. I'll talk about the Washington scandal story, no story. If football is canceled, I do have a solution. Just show this dude, known as Vulcan Nation, snagging footballs with one hand like a big-boned Odell Beckham Jr. I imagine this is what Jason Peters looked like as a tight end before switching to tackle. I see amazing videos on Twitter and YouTube every day, but this is one of those true gems that I watched probably 10 times in a row, smiling bigger every time I watched it. Today, I will hit the Washington story, the Myles Garrett and Derrick Henry contract extensions, and prove that Comedy Central is stealing my jokes. Also, a sneak peek of the Bill Belichick Forrest Gump Subway commercial. Whew, that's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're already subscribed, click the notification button so you know when I make new football videos. Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports. The Lawnmower 3.0 is the best pube trimmer out there right now. You know that? I know that. And since pube trimming and social distancing go hand in hand, I bet your bush is trim and not grim. What else do we neglect on our male bodies? Toenails. So from your head to your toes, Manscaped has your entire body covered. Now with the Shears 2.0 4-piece stainless steel nail kit. Sounds manly, doesn't it? Slashed, tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, toenail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. Nobody likes an ungroomed set of feet, except for maybe hobbits. So ensure nobody calls you Frodo Feet with the Shears 2.0 nail kit. To tame your pubes, check out the Perfect Package 3.0 to get the lawnmower and all of the ball toning products you've come to love with my 20% discount at manscaped.com/goodsports, which now includes free international shipping to Canada, Australia, and the UK. Okay, here's the only story that could overshadow a team that's in the middle of changing its fucking name. This Washington sex and drugs or game-fixing scandal was supposed to be released this morning. It hasn't yet, but if I know anything about something, it will get released as soon as this video is uploaded. Did it work? I think the story might actually be bad, due to the fact that minority shareholders are quickly trying to sell their stake in the team with no name, and that Dan Snyder has hired lawyers to investigate team culture. But it's also been reported that minority stakeholders have been trying to sell their share in the team for months, but what we don't know is how many new minority stakeholders are trying to sell their interest in the team based on what this story might be. But if you go back and remember with your brain that exploiting cheerleaders for Washington is nothing new, then this might have some legs. Cheerleaders claimed in 2018 that they were forced to pose topless during a Costa Rica photo shoot in 2013 and were pressured to serve as escorts. Then other cheerleaders, probably paid off by the powers that be, came out denying those claims, and then we all forgot about it. Right now, all we've heard surrounding this current scandal are rumors and conjecture, but they all follow a dark theme of some kind of abuse. Some are suggesting Dan Snyder had ties with Jeffrey Epstein. We've heard that via Twitter, coaches were having sex parties, doing copious amounts of drugs, but nothing concrete has come out at this point. I also heard that when he was on the team, backup running back Capri Bibbs was having intercourse with Jay Gruden's side chick, which is both better and worse than it being Adrian Peterson. I wouldn't want to be the guy following AP in the bedroom, so it's better in that sense, but worse in that you should never trust a woman who willingly sleeps with the backup skill player. This is a huge bombshell story just waiting to burst. And I think the reason that the Washington Post hasn't dropped an official article yet is because they have to make sure everything is perfect and all their bases are covered legally, which means they're probably covering some pretty serious subject matter. This seems like a story you can't miss on, and despite the fact that we know something is coming, the journalists are, for a refreshing change, doing real journalism here. Some rumors are stating it has to do with fixing games. That would be huge, but considering how often Washington loses, I find that hard to believe. Nobody will be more affected by this story, though, than poor old Ron Rivera, who stated in a press conference just today, "The only reason I agreed to coach here was for all of the illicit drugs, prostitution, and shameful non-football activity. Without that, I'm just the head coach of an all-time trash organization." End quote. My thoughts and prayers are with you, Ron. Dak's brother, Tad Prescott, took to Twitter to talk shit about the Cowboys. This makes me like the Prescott family even more. Talking shit about the Cowboys online is what Twitter was invented for. More importantly, I think it speaks to the fact that Dak isn't happy as the richest team in the league tries to pinch pennies with his contract. I assumed he would end up in Dallas for a very long time, but I now have some doubts. I'm sure Jerry is just trying to keep Dak around until his reverse aging machine is ready for Tony Romo. It's fine if Comedy Central doesn't want to hire me, but at least don't actively steal my jokes. Then again, what should I expect from a network that gave shows to Carlos Mencia and Amy Schumer? You can add Trevor Noah of The Daily Show to that list of joke thieves, and this time he stole the name the Washington Washingtons directly from me and only me. Here's when I referenced it last week, the Washington George Washingtons, the Denzel Washingtons. Team motto, we got game. He defended Tom Hanks in Philadelphia, so the Eagles will never be a problem. He represents courage under fire, something every team needs, and instead of requiring an entire training camp, he will only need a training day to get the team ready. Perfect for a COVID-shortened offseason. And here's Noah yesterday.
Change the name to the Washington Washingtons. Yeah, it's catchy, it's easy to remember, and most importantly, it honors one of the greatest Americans of all time. My man.
Sure, he took out the George and then sloppily smashed it in with the Denzel Washington reference to try and make it his own, but I own all Denzel Washington references. Everyone knows this, specifically Trevor Noah. It's disgusting and most likely illegal. Viacom will be hearing from my lawyer. And by my lawyer, I mean any of you lawyers out there willing to do this case pro bono. I already did the discovery process, so pretty much all you have to do is prove everything and also the paperwork. Either way, it's highlighting the fact that this show can be on TV if this is the bar that's going to be set. And I'm doing it with roughly 5% of the manpower, and to prove my point, I'm going to do the rest of the show in a South African accent. Hey there, Trevor Noah. Hey there, where's your fake old TV, Trevor, you scallywag soccer lover? Fuck, I can't do it. I can't do a South African accent. Leaked footage of Bill Belichick shooting a Subway commercial took the internet by storm. My mom always said, life is like a Subway sandwich. It's never as good as you want it to be. The amount of people who noticed the Forrest Gump vibes Belichick was giving off in this video was uncanny. Uncanny, doth I say? The khakis riding above his sneakers just a bit too high as he awkwardly eats a sandwich that used to be endorsed by a pedophile on a bench. Just like Forrest Gump saved Ginny from a pedo dad in the movie. Forrest was also an amazing football player even though he didn't understand the rules. And Belichick is an amazing head coach who never plays by the rules. Literally. So many similarities between Belichick and Gump pointed out. Honestly, I'm very excited to see how this Belichick Subway commercial turns out. I'm hoping it's to promote a new 2-foot-long sandwich that you can share with the friend you haven't seen in a while. And no, don't worry, this is not an Aaron Hernandez joke. But Bill, sitting on the bench, rubs the empty portion of the bench next to him and looks up at Malcolm Butler and says, see, not all benches are bad. If that's the commercial, it's gonna be awesome. Derrick Henry, Titans running back, who has 136 missed tackles forced upon would-be tackler since 2017, got a nice payday from the Titans. That stat is from Pro Football Focus. I'm just glad they're not tracking all of the missed opportunities I've made since 2017 as well. That would be embarrassing. Now, I, for one, am in favor of paying running backs because they rarely get the money they deserve while they are playing their best football. Their rookie pay scale hinders their ability to earn and forces teams to pay them when it becomes much riskier to do so. They play a position in which they can thrive in their first 4 seasons while getting paid very little to do the most injury-riddled job in the league, and then have to file for unemployment because nobody wants to pay a 28-year-old running back. They're the equivalent of college grads who study for 4 years under the illusion that a greater opportunity is going to be handed to them once they graduate. A solution may be to give running backs a higher rookie wage scale, which is something the NFLPA should have fought for, but they didn't. Regardless, the Patriot Killer has finally been rewarded for his service to this country with a new contract, $50 million, which has $25.5 million guaranteed. It is well-deserved for a king beast who made grown men look like boys on his way to 18 total touchdowns, 1,540 rushing yards last season, plus 446 postseason ground yards and a passing touchdown in the playoffs. Henry was, without question, the best player on the Titans roster last year, and his contract is more team-friendly than Ryan Tannehill's. The Titans can release Henry in 2 years if they desire, but they'll be betting Tannehill for 3 seasons no matter how he plays. Titans fans are actually lucky Henry didn't ask for QB money. Then we have Myles Garrett. What is Myles Garrett known for? Yes, trying to brain murder Mason Rudolph with the football helmet, but also loving dinosaurs, his effortless smile, and his muscles, which is why this contract signing video is legendary. Oh, that's not a contract. That's just a statement that reads, "Cleveland, keep betting on me, and world, keep betting against me," which was just a diversion for Garrett to reclaim what he used to be most known for, his massive muscles. You sly son of a bitch, Myles. Now, Myles Garrett and the Browns agreed on a 5-year, $125 million contract extension to keep the 4th-year edge rusher in Cleveland. $100 million of that is guaranteed. This now makes Myles Garrett the highest-paid defender in NFL history, and sadly makes the Chiefs deal with Chris Jones look even more brilliant. Now, our lasting image of Garrett is him using Mason Rudolph's head as a piñata at Quinceañera Bowl 2019, officially earning Myles Garrett the title, coolest way to earn $100 million ever. I love imagining Steeler fans yelling, "Suspended, not extended! Suspended, not extended!" the next time those two teams play. But before he was suspended, he had racked up 10 sacks in his 10 games played. Garrett is a very good player right now, bordering on great, but he has the potential to be even better. He's a prototypical 4-3 defensive end in an era of stand-up edge rushers, but he's got outside linebacker speed, and more importantly, he pairs that rare athleticism with the most coveted attribute of all, agreeing to stay in Cleveland. Sure, they could have had Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes with the Myles Garrett pick back in 2017, but given that it's the Browns we're talking about here, we should be applauding them for not using the first overall pick in that draft on Mitch Trubisky. That's what we need to be applauding them for, like when a toddler sees a rock on the ground and decides for the first time to not put it in his mouth. There was some news around COVID this week that should give us all a bit of optimism. First, some of the vaccine results showed to have bolstered the immune systems of those it was given to in the first round of trials. In the world of sports, though, Major League Soccer saw 0 positives among competing teams in the latest round of COVID testing. Unfortunately for most Americans, 0 positives is how we describe watching soccer. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna if you want to follow me there. Make sure you follow my writing partner at Guillermo Yaves on social media as well. We are a tag team that many people can defeat.